Tom, we're going live here in just a sec, okay? You
Okay.
look, you're all set, very dapper.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Okay.
All right, we good?
Are we good?
Think we're all on,
I
can you hear us?
I can hear you.
All right. Okay.
Bridget, you able to hear me?
Yes, we got you.
All right. I'll call this meeting to order. Rob, you want to do the roll call?
Yeah, Bill Thompson? Here. Fred DeWitt? Yeah. Dean Matthews?
Here.
Jay LaPop? Here. Jay Harrell? Here. Robert Dilby, I'm here, and Keenan Lovett, our attorney.
Here. Okay, any changes or additions to the agenda?
I had one quick housekeeping thing. We got two bills in after the packet went out. One's for $69 and one's for $1,800. And I just want to add those to the consent agenda. I also spoke with Heidi Trainer's office and came to the conclusion, or we came to an agreement that we would close bills the week before our meeting. So any bill that comes in after the first Wednesday of the month would just get pushed to the next month. If that is okay with everybody, but I want to bring it to the whole board's attention.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. And that's it. So let's move on to the consent agenda.
Agenda, meeting minutes. Any comments or additions or changes to the meeting minutes?
As I told Bridget a minute ago, we need to, have Tom Rice, he was by phone, attending. And also, board authorized a donation of $1,000, not 50 foundation.
And that's what the check. And then the new total for the bill is $46,392.
I guess I'll have any motions for the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with those.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on. SHS report.
I'll start.
Tom?
Not a whole lot of new stuff going on, of course. We still continue to, I think, perform pretty well considering the circumstances here. We're pretty pleased with where we are when you look at other rural hospitals or hear about other hospitals and how they are struggling with COVID and the craziness that's with us. We're really pleased with where we're going right now. Numbers actually continue to look good, and we continue to keep our staff not only employed but most importantly safe. So from that perspective, I think I'm very pleased with how things are going at the hospital. Excuse me. Tony and I did talk a little bit earlier about marketing, and so it's good to know that we're looking a little farther down the road. Obviously, we have to wait for things to shake out and figure out how everybody's health and the economy is around here. But I think it's important that we're looking beyond this most recent challenge and try and figure out how we adapt as we go into the future. So, great job on the side of the hospital side, and appreciate the help that getting from everybody at the hospital as well as the MCHD board. So I'll hand it off to Tony. I don't really have much more unless anyone has questions.
I really don't have a whole lot. There's a update report on the COVID, what we've been doing on that in your packet. I won't go through all the details. We continue to do our testing 3 days a week. And in addition, we're assisting the county health department in doing testing on Tuesdays, which is open to the public. And that you do not have to have a symptom or a doctor's order. That anybody can come to that. Even the first week we had 280, I believe, came through, and it was over 200 yesterday since we were testing. So that continues to be very popular. And we're still seeing, anywhere from 15, 20 a day for the hours when we're open on 3 days a week. So still some testing going on there. We're assisting the tribe with doing their testing again on the 14th and 15th, Bridget?
That's correct.
Right. They're gonna test, their whole community again. And so, just to see how things are going there, so that continues to be ongoing. We're still doing our ongoing community education. We have in our Facebook Live, we're just doing that one day a week now. That became a little bit repetitive, but we still have some interest, so we're gonna continue to do that for a while. I'm currently working with the county and, well, the county, the city, and, Mancus and Dolores, we're all looking at, implementation of the governor's latest plan on how we possibly could expand openings a little bit more in the city, so, or in the county. We'll be working through that, and, there's a task force put together to let the dance go forward. And we met on Monday, we'll be meeting again next Friday, to try to see what the next steps will be for that, so. Anyone have any questions on anything there?
So on your, when you're doing the testing, when you find it positive, are you treating them here? Or are you sending them somewhere else?
Oh, that would depend. If they're, generally, if there's someone that's showing severe symptoms, they would be admitted here. We have had to transfer a few things on how they got to what level they actually got to. But initially, we would see them here when first one. Fortunately, there has not been a lot of hospitalizations coming out. I think we're at 78 positive tests as of today. I think there were 4 more today. And so but again, they've not been extremely ill.
That's good. Another thing that's kind of gotten lost is the whole insurance, countywide insurance program. Where are we with countywide insurance?
You know, we're working on, sort of an interim step, doing direct contracting with, several of the agencies. We've engaged a local broker who actually works with the city, the county, and a lot of the local businesses, and are putting together a direct contracting plan with that, which will be kind of an interim step. We knew all along that it would take a while to get up a bigger general plan, but, this will be able to be much quicker. And, quite frankly, from the hospital standpoint, that's going to be a significant measure of being able to retain a lot of the business here locally, so if we were able to do that. There'll be some significant incentives to keep people getting care here. Otherwise, we have a new general surgeon on board. He came on board starting July 1st, so, it was an excellent position, and, it fitted off really well with Dr. Madison, and we look forward to getting him established in the area. And we continue to do some recruiting along the lines of OBGYN. That's our biggest need right now. We're struggling a little bit to get that one filled, but, still working on it. Any questions? All right.
Rick?
All right. We had a strong month in May, and again, you know, insurance collections, patient receivable collections were $3.9 million. Our operating cash did increase by about $2.5 million. We did see some stimulus money of about 4.5, and we did see a couple of grants. For May, we were probably at about 83%, 85% of volumes. So it's kind of come back. And for June, I can tell you that we were right around 90% of volume. So folks are starting to come back. Again, we able to pay down some of our payables by roughly $1.4 million. July, it's an interesting month because we have 3 payroll payouts, the 3rd, the 17th, the 31st. Our days in cash as of the end of May were about 111 days cash on hand. And we're projecting through the end of this week with our AP run being about 107. So again, that had a payroll run in there, and then some AP. This is about the time our insurance rules kind of kick in. It was strong from an EBITDA standpoint. We had EBITDA of about 3.6 for May, and year-to-date improved to about $3.7 million. Revenue over expense was $3 million, and year-to-date is about 1.2. A lot of that is stimulus money. So we have some good, strong financial operations. On page 6, Again, it's the income statement, didn't know if you guys had any questions on that. And page 7, that's our balance sheet, that's where we built our narrative. If y'all have any questions or anything about the narrative of the balance sheet or income statement.
I have a question. I'm sorry, I just.
Okay.
Under current earnings, you say revenue over expense for May was $3 million?
Yep. Yes,
It
ma'am.
was $3 million?
Yes, ma'am. Again, part of that was stimulus money of about $4.5 million.
Don't I recall last month that you reported some stimulus money in the vicinity of $4 million?
I told you we were getting it in the month of May.
Okay, so
We
this
didn't
is
see it in
just
May.
one
Yeah.
shot, okay.
Yeah, our total stimulus to date is about $5.6 million.
I thought
Right
that
in there.
it was
Yes, ma'am.
had to be, but I just wanted to make sure we didn't get two of
Well-
those $4 million.
Technically, what we got 933 on the 10th of April. We got 97 on the 24th of April. On the 6th of May, we got 4.35. Then on the 20th of May, we received about 197, and then in June, we got 161,000.
It just keeps rolling in.
Yeah, and that's probably it.
Is that the PPP?
No, PPP was $5.038 million. Yeah.
So what will it,
About that.
Sir?
Vector, thanks.
Basically, they published some guidance, and we're going to, send them the documentation. They've got 60 days to take a look at it. Then it goes to the SBA. We've used 5 payrolls, and then our utilities, which is gas, water, and electric, and internet, because that qualifies as utility. So that'll put us at about $5.3 million. They've got 60 days to bless it or kind of kick it back with some additional documentation. After that, it goes to the SBA for 90 days. And then, so we should be free and clear by the 15th of December. Since we had a payroll protection plan loan of over $2 million, they will have PricewaterhouseCoopers will probably audit it at some point. And I don't know those dates, but I think like I said, 60 days, probably the same thing you've heard. 60 days, Vector's got to look at it, 90 days, the SBA, and then whenever an audit comes out. I have no idea. And we helped CXC write some of the guidance, because we've researched this, and we've also been in contact with the limited company audit firm. To say, here's what we're doing, so we've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 entities that we're kind of, we're checking with to make sure that we're understanding, because the feds just rolled out the guidelines maybe last Tuesday or Wednesday. And then the banks rolled out theirs Tuesday, I believe.
it's been a moving target.
Yeah.
It's been horrible.
So Jay, to answer your question, we are following the guidelines as we understand them at 6:20 p.m. on July the 8th, Wednesday. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Vector just put out that we got one for our company too
Yeah.
this week, so Vector just put it out, but it's been PPP came out with all the guidelines, and then, everybody abided to the guidelines, and they changed the guidelines.
Right.
And so, I know we were, I was like, oh, damn it, we're scrambling, so, and we're small,
Yeah.
comparatively speaking, but yeah, it's been a horrible process to make sure you're under the guidelines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jay, what we did is so when they extended it to 24 weeks and so forth, we just added another payroll in there to make sure. They did talk about mortgage interest for our bank debt. There's nothing that's considered a mortgage on a hospital for the state of Colorado. We didn't want to get into any argumentative debates with, the feds. So we just basically took the interest out and said, look, here's our utilities,
Here's payroll.
here's our payroll registers. And they asked for 941s. Well, our 941s aren't due until, end of July. So
Yeah, I mean, they based the money on last year's income, what you had last year.
At 2.5.
Yeah, so if you, at 2.5 people, so, yeah, if you had more people, as we did, and you sent that in, now you have too much money. And so you have to figure out a way to spend some money
Or give it back.
or give it back. Yeah,
And
so
when they added the extra
we're
time frame-
holding ours, because I don't trust what's going
Well,
on.
and with the extra time frame.
Yeah,
So we still show that as debt, Gayla, so we still show it as debt. So if you're looking why our debt went up $10.6 million, $5 million is the PPP, and then 5.6 was a Medicare advance payment.
And we feel fairly confident we will have to pay the Medicare advance back at this point.
Yeah.
and that was 5 million?
5.6,
And
5.6.
we not touched it, we just put it in the bank.
and it's about 33, 34 days cash on hand.
So what do you estimate your cash on hand when all the dust settles in December? I mean, do you have?
Probably somewhere around 70 days.
70 days.
Yeah. And that's without the debt reserve fund
Mm-hmm.
that basically most everybody else has that in there. Debt service fund is about 11 days. So if you add that, it's about 81 days.
So are we looking to get rid of the forbearance into December, 1st of January? Is that what we're shooting for?
Our goal is to basically see if we can get some covenants modified. And the issue is that the feds and everybody else still haven't said when COVID's ended. So the stimulus money that we've got and the other things that we've got, I don't think we're gonna get any more.
Right.
Unless something god awful happens. So we think we've got about all we're gonna get. Does that make sense?
Something god awful is happening.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we computed our ratios, and we walk hand in hand with this group, with Vectra, Conrad, Freeman primarily. Yep, y'all need to do the PPP. Yep, y'all need to do Medicare advance funding. Yep, and so forth. So, like I said, when I'm telling you, we talked to 3 or 4 entities about what we're doing, everybody's like, yeah, because you don't want to get pants, right? You don't know how long things will be extended. We don't think the stimulus money will have to get back, due to the fact that the thing that we're showing is our difference between, current net revenue and last year's net revenue. We haven't brought supplies into it yet. And that was our discussion that we kind of had yesterday. I'm sorry for the late notice. But, from a matrix, again, we're still hitting our ratios. Our debt payment is still strong. We've got that schedule in here. Of the bond payments, the debt payments we made, 4.5, total 1.5. The sales tax was accounted for $584,000. And then the hospital operations have been $930,000. This is our track record on how we're doing collecting cash on page 13. So, we're hitting our metrics. The only metric we're not hitting is commercial insurance, which is sitting at 72%, but again, I'm not gonna write stuff off when I can appeal it with an insurance company. And still have an opportunity to try to collect it.
You're over your 5 minutes, Rick.
And you got 1 minute.
You got 1 minute left.
Okay, the audit, basically, thank you. I yielded some time. Gayla started it. And, so from an auditing standpoint, we did have a change in auditors. We're looking at about a $6.5 million turnaround, from prior year. One of the footnotes or paragraphs that is not included in this is the fact that, they didn't have to write anything about us being a going concern. Going concerns when you're not sure how well you're gonna be the next year or how long you're gonna keep your doors open. You didn't have to have that footnote based on the financial performance and some of the operational things that we've done. Some of it's been painful, some of it was just good business practices. So if you're looking at excess revenue over expenses, I'm on page 35 of the packet, page 5 of the audit. Our excess revenue over expenses was $278,000. And then in 2018, it was, a negative $6.5 million roughly. So that's about a $6.7 million turnaround.
That's good.
So if y'all have any questions, happy to answer those. Again, being cognizant of time.
Any questions for anybody? Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
All right, financial report?
Our net unrestricted cash is $2,460,815.59. And we actually don't have the new, sales tax numbers for either of them, since it's so early in the month, since I'm meeting so early this month. So what I'm gonna do is once I get those from the bank and the email from the state, I'll just email them to the entire board. I'm gonna hold off a few days on check payments so that I can include those in with the checks, and we can get a check, actually check for the tax.
Can we email to the entire board, or does that have to go through you guys?
Email to the board.
Okay.
No board discussions.
It would be, if someone could audit, or someone could request it if they wanted, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
No decisions can be made or, actual business being discussed, but just general emails and information.
Okay.
Problem is, I don't get emails because internet doesn't come out where I am. I've been getting my emails at the library, but the library is closed.
Well, I will, I'll get your number at the end of the meeting, and I will just give you a call. I'll give you those numbers. So old fashioned over the telephone.
Okay, actually, you have my phone number on this list of, board of directors.
You get a phone out there, Gayla? You get a phone out there?
Actually, no, but, I have a phone and a house that I don't really live at much most of the time, that I do get messages at.
Okay.
Hey, I'm rural.
Don't pay attention to the term sheet, or the terms, the rest of it's right.
I just pass the rest one.
Yeah, just so you guys have it updated, I'll get you a new term thing when that's right, but at least you've got reference.
I will give you a call, and, that's the only financial report that I have. Foundation report.
Yeah.
Don't have a lot to report. We had a quick meeting. We are gonna put out another request for grant, application, and, the rest of the.
That went out today.
That went out today, okay. And the rest of the board, says thank you to the hospital district for the donation in Brad's name. And that check's being delivered to them. And, that's really what we've got going on in the foundation.
Bridget, did you want to talk, since you're on the mode of donations and foundation money, do you want to talk about what we did last night?
Yes, I will forward you guys this email. Rick got word, I want to say, was it around 7 o'clock last night, Rick?
Matt sent me a text,
Lindsay.
Linda sent me a text, and basically, there were grant opportunities open to hospital districts. So, we kind of put some stuff together, we reached out to Dean. I think we're asking potentially for $150,000. If we don't have some of the costs that do it, we just want to ask for the money, but we just try to submit a placeholder. And part of that's gonna be because the EMS guys are running our COVID screening sessions. We can look at that. We've also, looked at ordering some, procedural masks for our patients, for folks like that. We also have, I don't know if y'all wanna call them greeters or basically health screeners at the doors.
Concierge.
Concierge, sorry. but.
Yeah, I met one yesterday when we came into the ERs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I don't really, I mean, because you're gonna go, well, what does a concierge do? And that's kind of what they do, is health screen and, yeah, stuff like that, so.
Make sure you're wearing a mask.
That is correct. So stuff like that, we can apply for. We are counting costs after our last PPP loan. So that way we've got a spreadsheet that has PPP box, hospital district box, FEMA box, business interruption box, stimulus box.
So would that basically be like a grant to the district that would then just pass through to SHS for those costs?
The letter I typed, I'm not actually.
Kind of, I think so.
But yeah, I typed up the letter explaining that it would be for SHS to continue operations, but help financially, blah, blah, blah. It sounded good, huh?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
And so we just
It was
submitted
good at
that.
9:30 last night. I was kind of,
I was like,
tired.
any chance you could DocuSign this for me?
Yeah.
So we got that done. I submitted it on behalf of MCHD.
Mhm.
I mean, if for some reason the expenses that we put in there don't somehow meet their guidelines, we have plenty of time to figure that out, but if I didn't hit the button last night, we don't get any of the 100.
Right, yeah, we had to get it in, so. Okay. Facilities committee, I don't have a whole lot on the facilities. We're just going through the motions for what's going on through the projects.
You want me to go over that?
Yeah,
No.
why don't you, Ralph? It kind of all ties in together.
I actually brought some stuff. Don't ever accuse me of not giving you enough paper.
Guess we'll get
Thank
that
you.
bill on next month's bill, huh?
Well, sure, yeah. I'll give you a quick update, because I know you're trying to move it along on our three little projects. On the OB nurse station remodel, work is essentially complete. We did, Rob and I and Nunn, and one of your nurse supervisors did Megan did a, punch list inspection last Thursday. Couple of pretty minor things came up. The biggest one was that Nunn had been shipped a door that didn't have a light in it, didn't have a window in it, going into the nursery. They went ahead and installed that one, and they ordered a replacement. It could be several weeks or more before they get the replacement door, but there is a door on there. There just isn't a window. There just isn't any glass in it to see into the nursery from out in the corridor. MRI chiller, the work that was necessary up on the roof, cutting a hole in the roof and then stiffening up the roof structure where the new MRI chiller is going to set. That was done last week, and that all went really well. They didn't have to cut nearly as big of holes in the roof as I thought they might have to. The chiller should be delivered late next week. That's the latest I've heard. And it should be set directly from the delivery truck onto the roof. Piping and electrical connections will take a couple days after that, and then hopefully the work to start up and commission the chiller will happen the first of, not this coming week, but the following week, it looks like. I think that's July 20th, 21st, somewhere in there. RT1, we're trying to plan the work for Labor Day weekend. We had a really good meeting a couple hours ago with Rick and myself and Rob and Nunn folks, and we've been pushing really hard on the shutdown schedule, trying to get to a point where we have some confidence to say that SHS can open back up to surgeries on the day after Labor Day, so Tuesday after the Labor Day Monday. I think we're probably at a point where we can do that, but I don't wanna commit to that yet, and I know none is not ready to commit to that yet. We're gonna have another schedule, meeting next week, and we'll be able to zero in on it a little bit more after that. But that's been a big point for SHS, is to try and shorten the downtime as much as possible, and I think we're down to about 5 days, but I don't wanna say that for sure.
Yeah, so we've got a change order that's pretty substantial to do that work over that holiday weekend. And, that's something we're gonna have to get approved for none at some point.
Correct. In that packet I sent around, our Dean asked me to go over where I think the costs will end up on RTU one. And I thought instead of just doing RTU one, I'd do all three of those little projects for you. So, you know, all of the important stuff is on the first page of those three stapled, packages that were in that thing I sent around. On RTU one, we had a change order request for $16,000 to cover increased insurance for GARs, the folks that will lift the thing onto the roof and hook it up, and also some changes in the performance of the unit. That was approved and signed months ago, by Tony. We've got two of them sitting out there right now, one of them for $60,812. There were a couple things that happened there, but primarily there were some changes that came about between the time that none priced the work from the design, the DD level drawings to the 100% drawings. So there were changes that took place that increased none's costs. And then the third one that I've got listed there is the Labor Day premium costs. We were up over $70,000 with that a couple weeks ago, and none has been able to fine tune some of that since then, and we're down to now where we think it's gonna cost about $64,000, $65,000 to work over Labor Day. Our plan is to start on Wednesday evening, the Wednesday before Labor Day. And I think that's September 2nd. As soon as the hospital shuts down and moves their last surgery patient out of recovery on Wednesday, the Wednesday before Labor Day, we will move in, shut the RTU down, and start our work. Then we'll work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And our hope is that by Monday evening, we will have the unit back up and running, and even though all of the test, adjust, and balance may not be done, all the commissioning may not be done at that point, we'll at least get them up and running. We hope for Tuesday morning surgeries. And then if we have to, like Tuesday night, shut down and finish balancing, or shut down and complete controls programming or something like that, there's a lot of stuff that's gotta happen. And we'll do that in the evenings and hopefully start them back up the next morning. So, and if it comes to that, there could be some additional cost involved, and coming back on Tuesday night and coming back on Wednesday night, or however that plays out. So, we're trying to ensure that we can get back up for surgeries on Tuesday morning. It's a lot of work to do in basically 5 days. So, I'll run you through these other two little projects financially. Also, the chiller is in there for you. There's actually gonna be probably 2 change order requests on that, both, I hope, small. I don't have anything on the bypass valve yet, but, when I get that, I'll provide it to you. And then in the in the construction drawings for the chiller, the structural steel, more welding, more steel, underneath that chiller was required, so that's part of what we got done this last week. So that little job has gone from 176,000 to probably close to 180,000. Then the third one is the OB nurse station remodel. There have been 4 little change order requests on that. We're still close to what it was priced at initially, $88,471. I think we're about 92,000, give or take, on that one. So I'll answer any questions that you might have on any of these. And if you don't have any questions, I'll try and give you an update on the retaining wall out here.
I see there doesn't include taxes, but there shouldn't be taxes, should there?
There aren't.
Okay.
There aren't. I listed their kind of inclusions and exclusions there, just right off of their contract, so. Okay, so the last thing is the retaining wall repair. Just this morning, and that's the 4th thing in your little packet that I sent around that you can see. Just this morning, I received Nunn's proposal for the retaining wall repair. Seems like a high number, but I'm not too surprised because that entire wall has got to come down. Enough of it has been damaged and leaning that the entire length of that wall is going to have to come down and be replaced. So I have not sent any of this information. I just got this morning, had several discussions with Nunn about it. Not sent any of this information to the insurance company. There's a couple things that Nunn doesn't have in their price. There will be some third-party testing required, and there will be a city permit required to put that wall back up. So, you know,
Really?
I think, yeah, really.
Oh, my God.
I think that could amount to $6,000, give or take, so. And I'll answer any questions that you have about that, or tomorrow I will send what I know now to the insurance company and start the process with them.
So we need to get change orders signed at some point.
Yeah,
And-
the sooner the better. If there's any questions, Rick or Tony, that you have about those change order requests, why,
So we've approved $1 million through MCHD. Looks like we're over about 51,000? Yeah. So,
Which is one reason why I've not started it yet until we actually get figured out how it's going to be paid, so.
yeah, so I'm just curious how if we want to discuss how we're going to handle that, or,
And quite honestly, I mean, I have no trouble with us picking this up. I'm a little bit, I've talked to Rick about this, I'm not sure why, when we had originally planned on doing this over Memorial Day weekend, and now we're doing it over Labor Day weekend, there's all of a sudden a $64,000 increase, so that had been the plan from day
Tony,
one.
it was not intended to be done over a holiday weekend.
Oh, absolutely was.
No, it wasn't, not the way it was priced initially.
Well, that may be,
It was
it
not.
may be the case, they didn't price it that way, but that was what we had said from the beginning, so.
I think we talked about doing over holiday weekend, but we didn't know how the unit was going to come in, so once we knew when the unit was coming in, my understanding.
So basically, they priced it not considering what we had asked to be done to begin with.
Well,
Now we're paying-
originally it wasn't going to be done over holiday weekend. It was done June something. I don't remember what it was. So then, when we had discussions later on about saving money over the holiday weekend and not shutting down, the original plan was, the way I recall it, was it was gonna be in June, the first part of July, not over holiday weekend. So that's what they originally priced. Then we had a request to them to price over a holiday weekend, to try to save a bunch of money in lost or downtime for surgeries.
Yeah, because we'd be on, I mean, we're a level 1 trauma center, we'd be having trauma diversion elsewhere.
Right, so the original plan was to do over a normal course of I think it was 9 days, and we got them back down to 7, and then,
The original contract was 9 days.
yeah, it was 9
We
days.
kind of said from the beginning, if that was the case,
Well-
we weren't doing the project, so, I mean, that was
There-
the issue.
Tony, there was a schedule that showed 9 days in the contract.
Mhm.
Well, I'm not sure why you're arguing.
I get it. No, I'm
But
not
really,
arguing,
because
but-
we are where we are.
Yep,
I've
we
said
are.
we've got to get it to 5 days, and we're working on doing that.
Yep.
Obviously, that was possible, or they wouldn't be where they are today. But we had to push it from day one to get any attention to get this done and like that to begin with. So, like I said, we're willing to pick up the extra $51,000, to get this moving, so.
Well, hopefully, with the contingency being at 33,900 or 34,000, if we don't use that contingency, that contingency will go back in, and it won't be 51,000, it'll be, 15,000, so, or 16,000, so.
I will tell you this, and we were all kind of skeptical, but, with Trent kind of stepping up and Chris kind of reworking through things, I mean, makes it feasible, and then, we talked to the train guy, and everything seems feasible for kind of getting things. We understand that, Murphy's Law is reality, but it's probably, and we could live with Murphy's Law, we just don't want to live with, everything else law, which is worse than Murphy's, but I mean, I thought it was a good exchange of ideas, and I think Chris and George and Ralph did a good job of trying to, what can we do first? What can we do earlier? And that was probably the greatest collaboration I've seen. So
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah.
Real good. So hats off to Ralph, Chris, and George,
Mm-hmm.
and Trent, the GARS guys.
Who's Trent?
Nichols.
Oh, Trent Carver?
Yeah.
He's back?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Didn't know he left.
Oh, he did, he retired.
Okay.
He retired. His gambling debt probably got too big, so he had to go back to work.
Is he married?
Yeah, he is.
There you go.
Okay, anything else on, facilities?
Are you needing, you don't need board action for that?
No, I mean, what's
Hey,
that?
Dean. Hey, Dean.
Yes,
Dean,
yes, go ahead, Tom.
we're still planning on meeting on the 14th, is that correct? A facilities meeting?
For facilities?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Any particular agenda, or is it a free form?
Thursday. We're
We're
gonna,
doing
That's the
Tuesday,
16th.
Tom, we're gonna go,
Oh, it's mine.
Tuesday the 14th.
It was the 14th, yeah.
I thought we talked today, I thought it was 16th.
yeah, I thought it was the 16th.
I don't.
It's on the 14th.
It's on the
If I need to
14th?
move it, you guys
Okay.
just let me know.
Yeah, I haven't heard
Everyone was
I haven't heard
available.
the 16th, so.
The idea for that meeting is none will have revised their schedule by then based on our discussions today. We'll be able to look at it again, we'll have input from subcontractors again, and we'll fine tune it some more if there's a way to do that, so.
We also got some reports back from SSR on facilities improvements, so I think from George and timelines and what's been bumped up to critical, and I'm sure we'll be discussing that also.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Whatever
So
we have.
what day are we meeting?
I have it
It's on
on
Tuesday.
Tuesday, the 14th at 4:30.
Okay.
If I need to move
That's
it.
my plan.
Can you sit down?
You're correct about that, and
I can move it,
that is,
I don't care.
that is the facilities committee meeting. We also had
Right.
discussed, using our OAC meeting time on the 16th to go back over the schedule with the group that
Oh,
always
It's
gets on the
actually two
OAC
separate
call.
oh,
So,
okay.
so two
So the-
different meetings.
Yeah, the OAC is the normal weekly.
Mhm.
So do facilities need to be invited to the OAC?
They can always
I
come
think
to,
they're all
they
on
can
it,
always
but I
come.
We already are. I believe we already are invited. Chris usually sends out an invite.
Yeah, I
Great.
think we already
So we see.
are. Okay. Any other questions for Ralph? Comments, arguments? We're all good? All right.
Nothing,
Nothing?
nothing.
Okay, next is Manka's Clinic. So, I don't know, Fred, if you wanna talk about what happened over, what's going on with Manka's Clinic?
The dentist has left. He called me Monday, a week ago, Monday, I think it was, and said that he decided he better bail out. He had another dentist working for him, over in Durango, and he's not coming back, so he can't run both the places. So he moved out last Wednesday. I went over there while he was doing it, and what he's done, or was doing, was, should be out of there. I thought he'd be out of there by this last weekend, excuse me. And he asked me about some stuff that if he wanted to leave, or if we wanted, or whatever. And he wrote out a list, and I had Jenny rewrite it. On the right-hand side. Of the stuff that he left there, well, some of it's already gone. Because I was there Friday, and so I was over there. I want him to review. Can you give that to Ron, please? I haven't been over there since. I was gonna try and get over there yesterday and today, and I've got too many personal issues going right now, so I just didn't have time. But what he's done, he's left, what it says on here is he left a plant, coat rack, a couch and tables, and the 2 chairs, and the kids' stuff in that entry. And then in the back, he's got a medical waste can that he left, or whatever you call it. The ladders, I'm not sure what they are, I don't remember. There's a bathroom closet in there, stand-up, it's got 2 full-life doors in it. His desk he left, his filing cabinet, and a computer desk there. There's bookshelves, all over the place. And he's left the, towel holder, the folding towels, the glove holder, and the mask holders. Now, this is stuff that, I don't know if anybody, if you want to keep any of it or not. I don't know what's in there, I'm gonna try and get mine over there tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna make it or not. So he's basically out.
Do you want me to go look, Fred?
Pardon?
Do you want me to go look?
No, there's a lot of stuff I wanna look at while I'm
Oh,
there.
sorry.
No,
It
you
was
can go,
just furniture,
you can go
I
in there
could look.
anytime you want to now. There is a key there,
Right,
you know where it's at.
on the clinic side, the main.
It's in the filing cabinet behind the, yeah.
We're live.
Well, doesn't matter, most everybody over the damn thing is anyway.
They do now. I didn't know where it
Basically,
was.
there's nothing in there now. There was a lot of stuff that he had not got out that he was gonna take, now I don't know if that's gone or not. Why don't you go ahead and go over there, see what you, look in the house, no, really, Bridget,
Okay,
it'll save me a trip.
okay,
There was a whole lot of stuff that was in the hallway,
okay.
in the west hall that goes out to the outside. She's right around the corner, she could walk there in 2 minutes.
Is he wanting to be compensated for this?
No.
Oh, okay,
Nothing.
okay.
He's like, he put a bunch of stuff out by the garbage can and said, please take. I said, if you put please take on there, they're not gonna take it. Put a price on it, they'll be gone in 10 seconds.
They'll steal it, yeah, we put a number on there and somebody will steal it.
So on the money-wise situation, I told him to get a hold of you.
Okay. Did you give him my phone number?
He's got everything.
Okay, I haven't heard.
Their office is supposed to be getting a hold of you, but God knows what and when or how.
Okay.
And they've got the information that they need to get ahold of you. And, Heidi's office has got their information too. They were supposed to, Heidi's office was supposed to have sent them invoices for the last 3 months, because he needed it to, so he could, on that stimulus money. I don't know, there's, according to what Dale said, that he didn't think they had, even though, did he pay 2 months already? I don't know.
Don't know. I'm not sure.
I know he did pay June.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about April and May.
yeah.
Does he owe for June, or was he not in there in June? He owes for June,
He was in June and he left at the beginning of July.
so he owes for June and that's it?
I don't know. Well, yeah, it would be June, yes, sir. I'm sure that he paid April and May. I don't know that for sure.
Okay. Is there any security deposit or anything that we have to pay back to them?
No.
Okay.
I do know that there, before anybody can move in there, there's gonna have to be a lot of work done. Mostly cosmetic work. There's electrical and water in the floor, I mean, 3, 4 offices. And I put in a call for him, he hasn't called me back, and on one of the walls, there were about 8 or 9 wires sticking out like this. I'm thinking, what in the hell are they leaving those wires out like that for? So I don't know.
I think just on that, we should consult with SHS and see if they would want the space before we do anything.
So Tony and I have talked a little bit about it, so
I got ahold of Dane and talked to him about all this prior to, and we decided to wait till this meeting to discuss it when we were all here. It is up to SHS if they want any of that stuff.
Yeah, and as far as the space, we had said that
Well, you'd have to go see it.
we would want to take it over. And we had actually talked about that only before, and
Had long discussions about that.
yeah.
I just remember what that ladder's for, that's to get up in the attic.
yeah,
That hallway was full of, I don't
Yeah.
know what was in it, it was just full.
it was, yeah.
To be able to make access from where SHS is now, that one desk situation on that north wall, will have to come out through the door right behind it. And that's the access to get in and out of the wall, the whole place.
So you kind of have a plan of what you would use it for and how you'd remodel it and.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll get in touch with Heidi's office and make sure we're fully squared away on the bill side of things, and make sure that we got space for everything.
Talk to Kyle if you would, just because he's been handling all that stuff for him. As far as I know, that's what it is right now. But there is gonna have to be some stuff done out there. I don't know if you wanna pull all that carpet out and redo it or what you wanna do. Then we'll discuss who's gonna pay for it. See, I knew you'd do that.
Well, of course, whoever's leasing it's gonna pay for it. I thought that was already decided.
Maybe I missed
Let me tell you
that.
I've been around a long time and I know what he's thinking.
I know exactly what he's thinking, so, we just had that conversation on $50,000, so.
The board wants to pass on to the facilities committee as kind of an additional subject for them to look at and report back to the board?
You know, it could be, yeah, we can discuss it in facilities, yeah, and see. I'd like to go into executive session later on to discuss a proposal we got, so yeah, but yeah, I think, we can discuss that in
Well, I was
facilities.
just really talking about the issues with possible electric, I mean, just
Yeah,
actual, not necessarily the negotiations on the lease for the facilities committee, but just the issues that Brad's bringing up with the condition of the.
of the space,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's 1,500 square feet in there. That building is, you got 33,000, I believe, right now, and that's 1,500, 4,500 square feet on that building.
13,
I've got your
a
email.
little over 1,300.
I just rounded it off.
Yeah, you round.
Give or take a foot or two.
No, you didn't give me square footage, you just gave me numbers.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Which is fine, they're accurate, I'm sure.
Rob, did you get that lock yet?
No, I gotta send the guy down tomorrow. We got a round center tomorrow.
When I called you the other day, and asked you about it, and I don't remember what day it was yet. I know somebody had been down there, but I'm not going down. Because I could tell by the way the hatch was set, because it was cocked like
Right.
this.
There was sprinkler closed. They had to climb underneath there and turn the water on for the sprinkler system.
It's, they could destroy that building with one little movement from under there.
Okay,
As far as I know, that's it right now, so. So you guys have, the facility planning to basically take it over? Good. And I can stand on it. The keys that are left,
Well, we'll, I think you just tell Deemer that
what's that?
where the keys are.
Oh, yeah, you can tell me where the keys are
Later.
It
later,
doesn't have a bleed button for the
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
after we're not on air. Okay, anything else on the Minkus Clinic? All right, Keenan, attorney report?
So kind of circling back up, Montezuma irrigation, we actually have some very good progress there, which I think I indicated to the board via email. Actually have spoke with Keith Evans several times over the last month, and the association that owns that pipeline, actually buying into that pipeline is probably not going to go through, because of the objections of a couple members. But the original operating agreement of that association allows any existing original member to increase the amount of water they have in there by 50%. So Keith is going to be very generous and propose to the board that they can take, if he's got 18 shares in there, so he could put 9 more in. And he's willing to give the district 5 of his 9. So the district would have to go purchase their own 5 shares and then buy into that association. And then Keith would basically get it done by saying, hey, you don't have, this isn't a vote, because I've got the right to give them 5 of the shares that I could increase this by.
He can do what he wants.
The existing members have concerns about adding too many new users in there, because there are some concerns, whether they're valid or not, that the pipe isn't engineered to handle much more water than if all the members were to increase by 50% like they're allowed to, and they add water in there. They're worried that the pipe may not be able to handle that. So Keith has been, really his proposal, I think, is very generous. Keith also indicated that where his head gate is, he says is about as close as possible to the hospital's property as you can get from his property. So his property is just directly north. There's going to be a small strip of essentially conservation easement land that he granted to the city of Cortez. And then just on the other side of that is going to be Keith's land. So he says we're not going to have to pipe very far. He says he's just fine with us tying in where his head gate is. Just put a meter on it. And so with the board, if the board wants to continue to pursue this, I would just need authority. Or, you know, I think with the way that this is going, I mean, certainly there's what needs to be done with Keith and MBI. I think any board member could also handle. We're more than willing to do it. The other issue that we'll need to do is just get the city on board
Keith says that when he did that conservation use in the city, he reserved the ability to pull utilities across it. But he says it still technically is city property, so we will need to involve the city as far as access. Trenching across their property to put a buried MVI pipe in. And I can't imagine that the city, will be very difficult to work with on that, but we do need to communicate with them. So there is, really 3 items that need to be done. We need to get back in touch with Keith if the board makes the appropriate or the decision tonight to pursue this route. What we're looking at is, Keith said that last time somebody gained access just into the pipe, it cost them about $10,000 to get into the association. So then you've got the cost of 5 shares of MVI, approximately $25,000 there. So the board would need to be, with that in mind, would need to make some sort of determination on how it wants to proceed with this particular option. And this particular option would be communicating with Keith to get things done through the association, communicating with MVI to purchase 5 shares. The other option would be the district to try to go out and lease 5 shares from some individual. We would not really recommend that.
No.
And then the third, item that would need to be done to pursue this would just be general communication with the city.
I think our attorney's done a pretty good job so far. I'd like to have him stay on.
We just need a motion to move forward with whatever somebody felt was appropriate. Securing the shares and purchasing space on the pipe.
So I think we just need a motion to,
I'm curious about one thing.
yeah,
You mentioned a meter. The purpose of the meter is for what? Charge per gallon?
it's going, no.
Yeah.
MBI is going to require it to ensure that we're only using 5 shares.
Oh, okay.
And Keith also, I think, would just appreciate it, and he's kind of letting us tie into his stuff, just so he could have some sort of indication that we're only using 5 shares. The pipeline that we put in is, they always put us a little bit bigger pipeline than the amount of shares we have. And so technically, if we wanted to attempt to use more than we own, we could, but that becomes more difficult.
Did I understand it right, that does not shut down over the winter?
No, MBI is only going to be available from about mid-April to mid-October.
Okay. Then there's no reason to have a storage pond, but it doesn't shut down during that period of time.
Well, that would be a little bit different process. We'd have to have some additional shares to be able to, I mean, we could do a storage pond. I think, and we probably want to get, whoever is utilized, it sounds like that may be Sprinkler Pros, doing the kind of general sprinkler system here.
Yeah.
We may want to talk to them if there's some sort of option, just where, you know, if water is really needed in those months that MBI is not available, can we still somehow tie it all together where city water could be used?
Yeah,
maybe
you know,
occasionally?
if we're able to get to the head gate that we've got out here on the front by the sign, you could put a 3-way valve in there, so you'd run your MBI, and then when MBI ran out, if they have a shortage, which next year could happen.
Yeah,
You could turn MBI, you could turn that and go back on the city.
yeah, so that's gonna be, I mean, that's gonna be like a Sprinkler Pros backflow issue that, I mean, but I think it's can be done.
Yeah, Yeah, the biggest thing, the whole process is gonna be getting somebody to dig from there to there. And I had a couple conversations with a couple of contractors, so I can follow up on that. I just hadn't pursued it because we didn't know what we were doing with the water. So, there's 3 contractors that I talked to.
Okay.
So, if we're able to secure the water and secure the shares with the access to the pipe, once we have that, we could probably do some this fall. So it'd be ready to go in the springtime, I would imagine. It's gonna be pricey to get water up. We've got a couple of roads to cross.
Iron pipe or PVC, flex pipe?
It'd be PVC,
Definitely
it'd be PVC.
Yeah.
There's also some options to go through NRSC and get grants. So a lot of times, when you're extending irrigation water, you can get, they'll pay for it.
Well, and I think we've got a little bit of time. I mean,
Yeah.
where we're at, this is probably going to be a fall project.
Yep, late fall.
Yeah, a late fall project in which we're actually utilizing the MVI water next spring.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be using any of it this year.
And so, you know, I think that in the board's determination here, if the board makes, it sounds like the board's wanting to pursue this. Those MVI shares, you know, in our experience, there's normally, you know, some for sale, but they also can move pretty quickly. So I think the board, should give the authority to just go ahead and buy those shares up to a certain amount, so if they become available, we're not having to wait till at the next board meeting to purchase 5 shares if they become available.
I'll make a motion,
There's already a motion out there.
Is there?
The motion, I heard someone, now I can't remember who it was, motion to move forward with purchase of 5 shares and work with Keith.
I thought that was Jay.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
sorry.
I'll withdraw if you want to change it.
Nope, I just threw one in.
Keaton, do you need a number? Do we need to authorize a certain dollar amount?
Yeah, up and up to, I think that would be, pardon me?
Up to 35,000 for the two things?
I think I would keep, on that 10,000 number I stated, that was a ballpark from just going off on somebody else.
Mhm.
So I think the board can make the motion to move forward with all this, and then the only amounts that the board approves to be spent right now would just be on MVI. Because I think that 10,000 is down the road, when we're actually tying in, and that's not gonna be a super time-sensitive type of expense, where the MVI water could be. I think out of the MVI water, I'd go up to probably 27.
Yes, Jay, you just want to add that to your
I'll just add that.
I'll
I think, I like a round number, 30,000 instead of the 27.
I'll second that.
Okay, any more discussion?
Yeah, I have just one question. We're talking about, the cost of purchase, and buying into the association, and then an unknown cost of putting the pipe in. But what kind of annual charges are we going to be paying? Or FHS is going to be paying, because this will be replacing city water that they're using.
The MVI annual assessment, I believe, starts at 150, that's the minimum. And then I believe it goes up $25 a share.
Yeah, so we've got 4 shares, we've got a property with 4 shares of water, so it costs us $225 a year to run water 24/7.
Oh, that's no big deal.
Compared to 50,000.
My water bill's more than that.
Yeah, 50,000, so,
One month for city water, yeah.
yeah, it's so damn cheap, it's not even funny.
Now, that yearly assessment is something that is done by the MVI board.
Yep.
It's always subject to increase. But it's very reasonable.
Mhm.
Well, that's all I wanted to know, is what we were getting ourselves into. And once we pay this stuff up front, then it's minimal cost after that.
Well, and buying the shares, if you decide you didn't want the water shares, you can sell them tomorrow for what they are. I mean, it's like, you can go down to the bank and borrow on 100% of it. It's not a bad investment.
Thank you.
Do you have a motion? and a second?
Yeah, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And do you want me to, oh, Rob left, he'll be back. I guess we just need to find out where we want to tie in, and I can get some pricing bids together and bring to the board and timelines.
I think on that, and again, I'm more than willing to do it. I think a board member should just go meet with Keith, find out, he said he is more than willing to, he is more than willing to show us exactly where his head gate is. What he told me is if you pull into his driveway, he said it's gonna be about 100 feet to the west.
I don't have a problem meeting with him, Keen, if you get me his contact info.
Yeah, yeah.
Give me that, and then I can see where we start from, and then, Rob, if you wanna get with Sprinkler Pro and find out where we would wanna tie in, I would assume it would be up there, but boy, and then I can get pricing from that point
And I will reach out to Mike Green at the city.
at the city,
And,
okay?
I mean, I can't imagine that, especially considering what this is for, that the city would not be supportive. And he showed me what he did with them, and he reserved the right to pull utilities across,
Yeah,
as long as they're buried.
there's gotta be utilities in there anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure Empire's got one there too. Okay,
I will get you his number. I'll
Okay.
shoot it to you here in a minute.
okay.
I do have other stuff.
You're way over your 5 minutes.
I know, that's my bad. We need to, I hope everyone got my email from Monday regarding the audit. But I do think this is something that the auditors and in particular Heidi's office would like to have the district approve, this evening. Was everybody able to review the audit? I guess if there's any specific questions, I'll do my best. They may be more appropriate for the accountant, but, I think our suggested additional language, the audit was just to clarify, we didn't really like the way that note one read where, that the district just serves the county through health-related projects. I think we do a little more than that, in our opinion. So, I guess I would be recommending a motion to approve the audit either with or without our suggested change, or a motion to make it other changes or additional changes.
Well, the fact is that text that is in the audit doesn't really make any difference. But quite frankly, it sucks. I am familiar with the district's finances, as all you are, and I'm an accountant. If I can't figure out what the hell they're talking about, who can? And I can't. But it doesn't matter.
You're right, it doesn't make any specific difference except that this becomes a public document.
And nobody ever looks at it. And the average person is going to go cross-eyed and say, I'm not an accountant, I don't understand it. But even an accountant can't understand it. What they have done, I think, is they just have a template that they use, and has some boilerplate language, and they just didn't adjust it for the fact of what we are and what we do. It talks about our customers. Who are our customers? SHS is the only customer we've had. We have charges, customers or applicants who purchase, use, or directly benefit from goods, services, or privileges provided by a given function or statement. I mean, that's, you'd think for $6,000 they could do better, but it doesn't matter.
Brenda, are you making a motion to approve it?
Well, did that sound like a motion?
So do we have a motion to approve it?
I'd like to make a motion that counties will do a better job with their tax next month, or next year. But I'm sure that the figures I did check, and the funny things they do, you really can't check what they've done. But that's part of the rules of accounting.
I think the words that the attorney wants to put in there are pretty critical.
Well, to be honest, if you want this thing to reflect what we're doing, yes. The fact is, nobody really sees it anyway. I mean, who can even guess it? It goes to the state.
Any member of the public can get it.
Any member of the public can get it. Has any member of the public ever bothered?
I don't know.
Probably not. That's why I'm saying it just doesn't really matter. But you think they'd do a better job.
I agree. There definitely was some templating kind of things again, but I would make a motion to approve the audit with the changes that Keenan recommended.
Second.
Any more discussion on the audit? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Keenan?
I think the last thing I had real quick, in May, we did a resolution regarding the bank account. And the authorized signatories is being Dean, Bill, Rob, Jay. Is there any need, or does the district want to add Fred to that? He was not a board member at the time of the resolution.
Question is, do you want it, Fred? I don't want what? Just not.
Being authorized signature, just in case we need,
I don't care.
we need two signatures sometimes, and.
I suggest that we have
Okay.
Fred.
I think we should also.
I just noticed he was off, and the reason was.
Been
because
doing
he wasn't
it
a board
for
member.
another year or so.
Okay, that's, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so make a motion, as to that, and we'll amend it and go down the road.
Do I hear a
motion to add Fred Wynn as a signature?
And I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I gotta call it out now.
I went so far over my 5 minutes, I won't be here for the rest of the year. All right.
Is that it?
Well, I don't.
Keenan, are you?
I'm done.
You're done?
Done.
Put himself in timeout.
Yeah. Bridget, did you have something?
No, that's just the thing we talked about with Grant.
Do you have something else? Yeah, so I'd like to have somebody make a motion to go into executive session. I guess I can make a motion to go into executive session to discuss, lease options with our attorney. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right. That's it.
We'll see everybody. Have a good evening.
All right, thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Appreciate your help. Take care. Be strong.